Good afternoon. This is Debbie Davis. It is June 23rd, 2026. Okay, so I have some very serious things going on here that I want to touch on today. Okay, so as I had talked about, I had run for precinct committee woman. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that, but the so the voting here was June 2nd in McPherson County, and I had just found out about this position from this lady that I thought I could trust, named Jody Waltman. She is running. She is acting as the secretary of the secretary of the Republican Party in McPherson County, serving as secretary of McPherson County Republicans. Okay, so that's the one. That's the person who told me about the precinct woman position, committee woman position, and I thought she was a trustworthy person, but then I asked her what the results were, of course, just, because I hadn't heard anything, and now it's kind of becoming fishy the way she's acting. Okay, and so I have several things I want to touch on here. So I I happened to go there that day to Leola, where the voting was happening, and the only reason why I went there is I'm still having problems with, I still can't get my car out. Rodney Hoffman is got this huge snowplow that he put and it's blocking me access to my property. I cannot get my car out. That is my property. I've talked to people about this. It's called, there should be some kind of state access clause where I'm supposed to be able to have access to my property. What he's doing is illegal. The snowplow was given to him to be used to plow snow, not to block somebody's property. But Rodney is not reasonable. Rodney is not a reasonable person, and he doesn't like me, and he's a bully. Okay, and then he's totally in cahoots with Sheriff Dave Ackerman. So Sheriff Dave Ackerman hasn't done anything to help me in any way. He's not going to. He's one of the persons I'm going to talk about more today. So, okay, so I happened to go there that day. This was June 2nd, and the reason why is because I was going to see if I could find actual drawing of where my property ends, because he's parked right on the side where it starts his property, like that lot right by mine is his property, so he figures he can block me because that's his property. But there's something called an access clause where it's illegal to block somebody from being able to enter their property. And it's not like I'm trying to park on his property. I'm just trying to get my car out. One-time thing. That's it. But we've got people that have been put in these positions, and I'm going to talk about this because I personally believe this whole thing, and I've heard from other people as well, that we believe this whole county has been rigged for many years, and I'm going to talk about it, and I believe I know what's going on. Okay, so I go there that day, and the voting is happening. There's these ladies downstairs, all ladies running the voting booth. I wasn't even there to try to check out the voting process. I was just there because I was going to try to see if I could get a picture of where my property ended and where his begins exactly, like the property lines, but I'm not sure if I need a survey for that or what, but I was just going there for other reasons. I was talking to the Register of Deeds there, and stuff. So, but I get there and literally like they all knew who I was when I walked in. They all like are whispering something to each other like, "Oh, she's here," and then they start texting. Okay, these women like all knew who I was. I believe they were texting Dave Ackerman. I wasn't even I wasn't going there to try to spy on voting. I just, their behavior was very bizarre. Okay, so these are the women running the voting, all the voting tables and the ballot boxes. Okay, so I personally was witness to something that happened when I was in Golden Valley, Minnesota, where I saw something. Okay, so I was there voting, and I was witness to this situation here where I caught this fireman taking the ballots out of the building. Okay, right here. Okay, it's on my channel. It's on my channel right here. It's called the firefighter. This firefighter guy has this huge box of ballots. Okay, I'm going to put the link on the bottom of this channel. Okay, so I'm there voting in Golden Valley, Minnesota. That's when I was still living in Minnesota. Okay, this guy walks in, and the voting was right across from the police and fire station. He walks in. There's no, he didn't sign anything. There wasn't any exchange of any signatures. There wasn't any. It was one guy walked in. He takes the ballot box, and he picks it up, and he brings it right over. Okay. There he is. He's carrying the, he walked in. I saw him. He was a firefighter guy. He walked in. There was no signature. There was no, there was one guy walked in, and he takes it right over there, the ballot box right inside the police and fire station. Okay. You know, how do we know that they're not at that point? It's, what is it, just a paper box? I mean, how easy would it be for them to just open it up and take out whatever votes they want, or put in whatever the votes they want before it goes to the tabulator machine? So I emailed, so when I got a hold of Jody Watman, I said, well, so what are the results from the voting? And she said, oh yeah, you know, so and so won. So you know, she said, you know, you know, the person that won instead of me is Dave Ackerman's wife. Okay, that's precinct woman. Okay, the exact person that I don't get along with. Okay, and I believe all of these women that are running the voting are all in cahoots with Dave Ackerman. Okay, I promise you. And so this, how do we know that these ladies are not taking the ballots and taking the ballots out and before it goes to the tabulator machine? Okay, just like here. This was, you know, I caught this guy. Okay, let me tell you I mean, this has to change, because it's way too easy for them to, there's no chain of custody, there's no control of the ballot boxes, there was no signature. Okay, this is a whole statewide voting process. Okay, this is so crazy, because let me tell you what happened. You know, when I was an admin NCO, when I was just, and sometimes we had to do random drug testing because I was a unit clerk, right? A unit admin NCO. The military knows about this. You know, you had to do random drug testing, right? So I had to take all the, when they were done taking all the urine and everything, I had to, as a unit clerk, I had to put it in the safe correctly. I had to sign off on it, and then there was a whole chain of custody paperwork that went along with it. Then there would be a guy that would pick it up, and then he was the one who sent it to the lab, and then somebody would have to sign for it at the lab, and then they would have to sign when it got back to, you know, the results back. Like a whole chain of custody paperwork had to go through this. Okay, there is nothing like that going on here. Nothing in our voting process. Okay, do you realize how easy it would be? These are paper ballot boxes, or like cardboard ballot boxes. Like, are you kidding me? How easy would it be to tamper with the ballots? Okay, and so I emailed Jody, and I said, you know, what are the results? And you know, she's writing me back. She said McPherson County uses tabulator machines from ES&S, Election Systems and Software, to count the votes. The paper ballots are run through 2 different machines that the county has on election night after the polls close. The public is allowed to observe. Okay, we're